A reading from the Odyssey, Book 1. Goddess of song, teach me the story of a hero. This was the man of wide-ranging spirit who had sacked the sacred town of Troy and who wandered afterwards long and far. Many were those whose cities he viewed and whose minds he came to know. Many the troubles that vexed his heart as he sailed the seas, labouring to save himself and bring his comrades home. But his comrades he could not keep from ruin, strive as he might. They perished instead by their own presumptuousness. Fools, they devoured the cattle of Hyperion, and he, the sun god, cut off from them the day of their homecoming. Welcome! It is Monday. We are starting off a new vlog. Yes, we are. Ooh, can't speak to the people like this. Okay, that works. So, we had a big walk today. We collected Isabel's water bottle from work because she forgot it. But today has been a good day so far and it is not over. It's about 4:45 in the afternoon. This is my week of workshops. It's the Pro Writing Aid Fantasy Writers Week this week. So there's loads and loads and loads of workshops. I just listened to the first one that I wanted to listen to. It was at 3. It was like the basics of writing fantasy with the nice people at Pages, I forget. So the basics of writing fantasy, they kind of covered the seven story types and some world building stuff. I've got to show you his little face. Yes. Hello, little man. Aren't you cute? Anyway, so there's actually another webinar that's going to be going on at 5 o'clock, but I'm not going to watch that one. I'm going to give myself the time until 7 because it's about marketing a book and I'm definitely not there yet, so I don't want to overburden myself with stuff that I won't remember by the time I'm actually looking to market a book. So I'm going to give that one a miss, and then the one at 7 is an interview with Travis Baldwin, the writer of Legends and Lattes, which I really want a copy of, but I don't like the English cover, so I'm trying to keep an eye out for an American cover paperback secondhand in this country. I'm kind of doing that passively. I'm not doing that really actively, like every day I need to check. But that would be nice because I prefer the little anime art style that they had on there rather than the... It's a nice cover, but not what I wanted. But after the first workshop, got myself a coffee. And I might just actually take a break because there's also another workshop at 9 that I wanted to go to. And then I'll be quite tired. So I might take a break, have some food. Hello, he's still looking at me. And take a break, have some food, and maybe just read, just to kind of like decompress my brain a little bit. So yeah, check in with you in a little bit. Ciao. It is 10:56. I have attended 3 webinars so far this evening. I'm about to start a 4th. It will be a similar kind of schedule tomorrow, except I don't have to do such a big trek of a walk. I had to walk to work today with the dog to get my bottle because I left it there and I missed my bottle so much. I don't know if my bottle's 2 litres. I think it's over there. There it is. Yeah, 2 litres. There's also a prompt from Readsy this week for their weekly competition that I'm very excited about, and I will tell you about that tomorrow. Night. Morning. It is Tuesday and we've got some more webinars on today. I'm not at work again today, so webinars all day. It is 10:23. I am ready and raring to go. I woke up this morning and I had put a notebook and a pen by my bed because I recently watched a video about something called morning pages, where you wake up and you stream of consciousness write first thing before you look at your phone, absorb any news, anything like that. And so you either write for 20 minutes without stopping, or you write 3 full pages, and whatever notebook size that you think that you would want to do. I've just got a little A5 one. It's not for anybody to read, it's not for you to look back on and read. It's not a journal because you're not reminiscing on the day that's just happened or anything like that. You're literally, it's a stream of consciousness of thought, and the concept is that it over time will bring up stuff from your subconscious that you can help you, maybe you can work through things or process emotions. Or like there was one of the girls that I watched a video about said that she found it a great place to rant if she had like some sort of angry feeling. She could get it out and process it through writing those morning pages. So I did my first morning pages this morning. I found that I actually wrote about it in the morning pages as I noticed it, but I don't know whether it's because I've most likely got ADHD, but as I was writing a thought, okay Albert, as I was writing a thought, I would be having other thoughts on top of the thought before I'd finished writing the thought, so then I wasn't writing those thoughts down because I was still writing the first thought, and then by the time I'd finished writing that thought, I'd had a couple and then got a new one. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll keep going with it and see if it makes a difference to my clarity of self. Because it's meant to basically just calm down your brain, demuddle the thoughts that are in there, and just kind of like help your brain process some stuff. It sounds quite nice, and it's very laid back. You don't have to be pretty. It's not, because you know, like when everybody started doing bullet journaling and everything was like beautiful, and then it became, oh, you've got to bullet journal and it's all of these are all these templates. And I attempted it once, and the concept of having to draw out the template in the pages was so time consuming and took so much effort that it just made me really frustrated, because then by the time I'd actually started using the journal, I was so burnt out from doing the journal that I didn't want to do the journal, and I'd wasted all that time. But yeah, it's not a intentional reflection, it's a writing from in the moment, stream of consciousness, what's in there right now, not purposefully looking back and being like, dear journal, this happened today. Not that everybody writes a journal that way, but I hope I'm getting the point across. This does actually say final image. It's because at one point I drew out the, on my wall, I drew out the entire Save the Cat novel outline so that I can write scenes on like note cards and then stick them on the wall, and then I can move them around and have a really big visual map of my book. I still think it would be fun to do, but I've not actually got any scenes yet, so that was a fun thing to do though. It was fun to draw it out. Yes, so also in the afternoon we're going to have some workshops. There's a couple I may or may not go to, because yesterday there was the one about marketing a book, which I decided not to go to because I don't want to overwhelm my brain when I'm nowhere near marketing a book. And the first one at 3 is how to self-edit a fantasy novel. And obviously as well, I'm nowhere near editing because I've not even written the first draft, not finished it. I know everyone always says don't edit while you go, but it might have some tips, because like it says like how to self-edit your characters, ensuring they're relatable, ensuring your story arc is solid, and blah blah, and stuff like that might be helpful for me personally in actually getting the story done, because it would give me an idea of what I should be doing with the story outline. I've always struggled with needing to know exactly how I'm meant to do it before I can do it, so I don't do it wrong, which is stupid because obviously first draft is never going to be good. It's meant to be messy, it's not meant to be good, but I get a block and I can't start things. So I may go to that one anyway, even though I'm nowhere near editing, but I'm closer to editing than I am to marketing. So I'll go to that one. Then there's one at 5 o'clock that's called Your Readers Must Know How Exposition and World Building Can Make or Break Your World. World building, that'll be a good one. I'll definitely go to that one. Then at 7 there's one I definitely want to go to, because yesterday I went to one that was a conversation with Travis Baldwin. I may have in the clip yesterday called him Travis Baldwin, which is not his name, my bad. But then there's a conversation with Rebecca F. Kwong. So she wrote, the most current one that she's written that's blown up is Babel. But I've read The Poppy War and The Dragon Republic. I've not read the third one, but that's only because there isn't an audiobook on Libby for it. And I've been listening to them on audiobook on Libby. And well, there might be somewhere on Libby, but that just means that there might be somewhere in some library somewhere that I don't have a card for. But because I'm actually in 2 libraries. I've got the York library card from when I lived in York, and I've got a Stockton-on-Tees library card from living here. But neither of them have, well, not when I last checked. But there's an audiobook for Babel, which is upsetting, because why have the first 2 of a trilogy and not the third, but then have the audiobook for the next book she writes, blah, blah, blah. But I get it, because Babel's really popular right now. But anyway, off topic. And then, even though I have read the entire book, I'm going to go at 9 PM. There's one that covers the Save the Cat Writes a fantasy novel. Because I've read the Save the Cat Writes a novel. Because Save the Cat's a screenplay structure, which is... This is where I got this from. And then they started off as a screenplay structure, and then they adapted it for a novel structure and released that as a book, which I've read. But I did read it quite some time ago, so I'm going to go to that at 9 o'clock. I was resting on my leg, but it's tired now, so I'm going to just swoop down. Then at 11 there's just a networking workshop, which I probably will not go to. But another thing I want to try and start doing today is there's a site called Readsy, and they've got loads of like helpful articles and like courses and stuff about writing. But they also every week have a selection of prompts for you to write a short story, submit it, and the winner gets $250. But this week the prompts are all about cats, and one of the prompts that I want to write from is write a story from the perspective of a large cat. Like they've put like cheetah, leopard, or just a really large pet, but my D&D character is actually a really, really massively fat tabaxi cat man. And I'm like, I've just been given permission and the idea to write tons of short stories about the adventures of Big Mac the tabaxi. He's a tabaxi monk called Big Mac, and he's a massive tabby who has terrible luck, makes the wrong decisions, but has the most beautiful heart. So yeah, I think that's all the stuff that I'm planning on doing today. It's going to be a busy week. Ciao. My printer broke today, so I went to the library and got them to print me out some little pieces of paper. But isn't this quote just really cute? I really liked it. And in this clip, I'm actually working on a task. I haven't spoken about this challenge that I was doing this week, as well as all my workshops. And I'll be honest with you, it's because the way I spoke about it in the vlogs was so rubbishly explained that I just cut it all out. But I'll talk to you about it now. I've taken part this week in a 3-day copywriting challenge with a lady called Chantel. She has Choice Words by Chantel, and it was called the Paid to Write Challenge. So we paid a little tiny £5, and we basically got to have her teach us little bits and pieces about copywriting, because I'm interested in copywriting as a possible income stream. I would eventually like to be a full-time freelance creative. That's like a end goal dream. So at the moment I'm just kind of exploring different options and seeing if there's anything that I am drawn to, anything that I think I might have a talent for. And I actually was really proud of what I wrote for this challenge. Here I am basically workshopping on 3 different examples of copy sent by clients that you would go through and adjust and change and then send back. We would send it into the group for feedback. but I thought I would try out all three to see which one I worked best with. I ended up going with a online fitness coach one. It was actually a really fun little challenge, and I actually do think I am interested in copywriting, and I will look into this further. Also, I bought batteries for my mic. I hope it sounds really good. I think it sounds good. What day is it? It is Friday. Fantasy Writers Week is finished. I'll probably have put some clips in of some of the stuff I was doing, but I've attended quite a lot of webinars this week and I was pretty tired. I finished the 3-day Paid to Write challenge with choice words by Chantel, which I've now finally learnt her name. Well, no, I always knew her name was Chantel, but I didn't know the name of her business. Unlocked a 4th day of bonus content, and then there's a wrap-up webinar on Monday, which I'll go to, and then I have something on Tuesday and something on Wednesday, but I can't remember what they are. But I'm sure we'll find out next time. I have come to Costa. It is 4:20. I got here at about 10 to, but I decided I was going to sing. Fight, show yourself. Yeah. So it's been half an hour, but I've come because this is the last, I think it's the last day, it's American timing I think, so it's a bit off, but the last day that I can write the short story for Readsy this week. I've not submitted one before, but I've spent during my webinar breaks and stuff like that, I have been trying to figure out the story for the little snippet of Big Mac's life, and I think I've got it. So I'm going to sit down with a coffee and some food and I'm going to try and write that today. Wish me luck. I'm finished at Costa. During that time, I did write 500 words of the short story, only to go on the website for the competition and realise that somewhere along the way, it's been a busy week. Somewhere along the way, I deleted a day in my brain and it's moved on to the next week's prompts now. So I can't submit it even if I'd finished it. But I kind of like the concept of what I've done enough that I want to keep doing it, and it lends itself to be like a serial story, just like keep adding to the adventures. So I think I will do that. It's a cute little story. I love the character because he's my D&D character. It'll help me develop a better understanding of how he is for D&D games as well, for whenever we do that campaign next, because it's taking a break from that campaign at the moment, going on to something else for a while. But if I keep up the stories of Big Mac, it won't be difficult for me to slot right back into his mindset when we next play that campaign. So I'll have to start looking at this week's prompts. Gonna go home now. We're at the end of Sunday, although technically we're 24 minutes into Monday, but you know what, we ain't mad. This is the 4th vlog in 4 weeks. And I am counting it 24 minutes past, although it obviously won't go up now because I'm still recording the end. I got distracted halfway, okay? I started listening to music. I like music, I like singing. But thanks for coming along on this more chatty based one. I didn't have a lot happening other than the workshops this week, but I will see you again for more content, because I've got some stuff planned that's not vlogs. Will she make it? Who knows? A mystery. I've finished the 3-day